I was thinking about doing this video tomorrow, but I thought today was fine. So I wanted to rank all the 7 Pixar sequels that come out so far, from Toy Story 2 to Inside Out 2. But I'm gonna rank it from the worst to the best. And and by the way, I reason I say 7 is because I will not include neither Lightyear nor Monsters University, since the former is more of a spin-off and the latter is a prequel and not a sequel. And no, I will not count Monsters at Work either. And so I wanted to take a look at the 7 sequels in terms of which one's the worst and which one's the best. Number 7 to me is Cars 2. I mean, it's not surprising it is, but it's still one that kind of deserves it because it's an odd thing to do with the Cars franchise to turn out into a spy movie that focuses on Mater. That's a kind of a weird idea to continue Cars franchise instead of it being a spin-off of it. But it's kind of sad to rank it on it because it has like the coolest soundtrack in this franchise, like in Cars 2 from You Might Think College in the World, or the Turbo Mater soundtrack from the opening, or the Finn McMissile theme song. This movie has an amazing soundtrack, like it really does. But like the the Mater being the lead kind of doesn't work sometimes, but it works in shorts. And it feels weird that Finn and Holly think he's a spy, but there are some moments where I think he believe they could be believable. The villain was kind of bland, but and Lightning McQueen didn't do much in this movie. But there are some good action sequences, to be honest, and the animation is still perfect, of course. And so, yeah, Cars 2, no surprising, is number 7. Number 6, Incredibles 2. Um, so far, I'll be honest with you, these 6 other ones are not bad. These are really good movies. And I really like Incredibles 2, but not as much as the first one, to be honest. Because it doesn't have like this uniqueness of the first film because it tries to be like it. I mean, it's kind of interesting to release in 2018 since it was a massive year for superhero movies. And to have the sequel in 2018 was interesting. And the plot was kind of interesting. I don't understand why the police decided to arrest Incredibles when they could just ask them like, "What happened? Where did the miner go?" Or something like that, whatever his name was. Feels a little it feels a little confusing that the screenslaver is Evelyn Never. Though at some points it kind of an interesting idea to know that she's not Evelyn. It's screensaver where screensaver is quote unquote doing stuff while Evelyn is around. And there's some good action and some good family dynamic, especially with Bob taking care of the kids. And Jack's fighting with the raccoon was funny, kinda cute. Um, but yeah, that's my take on Incredibles 2. Number 5, Cars 3, which I think is a very, very good movie. It's probably my favorite of the Cars movies because it has an interesting idea where Lightning McQueen briefly retires after flipping and being crashed during the race, but decided to do one more chance to beat Jackson Storm by training in a racing place where he meets up with Cruz, and for the majority of the movie, he trains Cruz to become a racer. And at the end, he decided to make Cruz an official racer, which was a nice, interesting way to end the movie on. And the animation is very good. It's more grittier, to be honest, but I think it fits the tone of the movie. And I really like how the movie uh looks and how the soundtrack is good and the supporting characters are decent enough and much better utilized than Cars 2. Number 4 is Toy Story 4. And so I really loved this movie very much, mainly because of the most emotional moments and some of the fun moments as well. Although there's a couple of issues. Why is Buzz think that doing things right by having his hinder voice? The other toys are not utilized as much, although they do with the car sequence, which was pretty interesting way for the toys to do this. That I thought this would be like the movie because of the things going on. Everyone knows that toys are alive, which I doubt will ever happen in the movies. And I thought, but I really love the animation of it and the opening. They're amazing ways to start the movie, and the animation is amazing. Everything about the animation is spectacular, especially the colors and the amusement part at the end. Gabby was interesting because she is not super evil, but she has a lot of harm compared to other Toy Story villains. Forky was funny. Keanu Reeves has steals the show as Duke Boom. But in the movie, didn't need to exist, but it is nice to see more of them. Number 3, no pun intended, Toy Story 3. This is one of the most greatest and most dramatic movies I have ever seen in my life because they go all out, more dramatic, more serious, and more darker with this franchise, especially from beginning to end, with this Lasso character having this tragic backstory. Andy's now grown up and the toys thought they were going to the dumpster. They decided to move on from Andy at the end. They were almost going to die in the end. Like, this movie it's changed the Toy Story franchise. Just how the tone and how you watch it is different of viewing than the first two movies. And everything about this movie is really, really good. Number 2, Inside Out 2. Just reviewed it. I'm not gonna get so much of it, but I really love this movie. It's pretty much like Inside Out, the first movie, but more beautifully animated and has more unique stories about it. It has some good character development from Riley, where she has a hard time with his friends, especially moving away from high school, and she befriending cool other hockey players, and emotions are trying to find ways to stop anxiety from making things worse. And anxiety has some good redemption arc at the end, and the way that they work out together is very nice. And embarrassment was kind of goofy, where he is embarrassed, no pun intended, of talking or seeing his face, but at the end, he is now happy for the most part. And the nostalgia cameo is very goofy, where she is too late to be called nostalgia. That's a very good joke. And the adventure that they go to find get Riley's personality back is very good way to continue the franchise. I don't know what happened to Jordan at the end at this movie. Never happens, but it's okay. And I do like the hockey moments. It's pretty cool. And the end, and the like I said, the ending is amazing. Like the way they end this movie is perfect, and really love this movie a lot. It's really, really good. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and the best film of 2024. The characters have good chemistry, the main emotions, and some good voice acting, and everything else is really good. But my number one to me, Toy Story 2. Honestly, every single day I think of Toy Story 2. I think Toy Story 2 is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. It's really, really good because the animation is probably the best CG animation of 1990. It was made in 1999, and it looks spectacular from the colors, the backgrounds, the visuals, the character designs. It is very spectacular at that for its time. And it introduces Jesse, Stinky Pete, and Zurg, and they are very good characters. I really love them in this movie. And Woody development in this movie where he has a hard time with Jesse and Sticky Pete, but it gets better with Jesse and Sticky Pete and Bullseye until Pete betrays them and decide to get back to Andy. And Buzz's choice to not give up on Woody to rescue him is honorable. And Utility Belt Buzz is kind of goofy, where he's basically Buzz from the second act of the first movie, but even more uh heroic, I guess, or more anti-heroic, I guess. And some of the action in this movie, from the opening sequence, from the Buzz versus Utility Zurg at the elevator, or the climax with Jesse and Woody trying to get out the airport, is very, very epic to watch. And yeah, Toy Story 2, I really adore this movie a lot. I really like this movie. And so that's my thoughts on Toy Story 2, and that's my ranking of all the Pixar sequels from Cars 2 to Toy Story 2.